Welcome to Badge Banter, where we feature some awesome stories from our incredible partners about the importance of the photo ID badge as the foundation of an organization's overall security efforts. I'm Lindsay Martinez from Badge Pass, and today we have a very special guest, Travis Smith from SAMS. Thanks for being here, Travis.
Yeah, thank you, Lindsay.
So before we kind of dive into our discussion for today, why don't you go ahead and just tell us a little bit about SAMS and what y'all do?
Absolutely. So we're established in 1971 for credentialing hospitals, so hospital credential, patient verification, and then we've moved over to access control. So we predominantly do access control and credentialing now.
Awesome. And you guys are out of North Carolina, but you cover multiple states.
Correct. So we have service technicians in 7 different states currently.
Fantastic. So, and they're a Badge Pass partner, which is how we know each other. So I'm happy to have you here today, Travis. Today, I'd love if you could, I know we talked about multiple cool customer sites that use photo ID badges and door access that you guys have been able to help, increase their security. But you had one really cool story that you shared with me about a manufacturing facility, and I'd love it if you could share it.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a manufacturing facility in Greenville, South Carolina area. They're a large manufacturer of tires, if you will, and when we went in there, they had clamshell cards, which are thick cards that you cannot print on, and they're just issuing those cards with nothing printed, no employee data or photos or anything on those cards, and that people would put them in their wallets, and just whenever they got up to a card reader to access the facility, they would just swipe the card, hit their wallet on the reader, and the door would open. Well, they come to us with some issues about who's coming in my facility. I know that card swipe is in my facility. That person that swiped the card is in my facility, but who is actually in my facility? Did somebody pick that card up out of the parking lot and stuff like that? So what we end up doing is going in there and put an ID card printer in that facility where they can, and giving them up-to-date cards where they can actually print on, so graphic quality cards that they can print on. And that when we started that process, it raised a lot more questions, a lot more features that we could do for our organization. So they started using those cards. Once we had a technology card they can scan, we actually put a barcode on the back of it as well, where they could use it in the cafeteria, where they could use it at vending machines and stuff like that as well. So it's a lot of applications that we brought to the table by just switching where they could actually print variable data or static data on that card.
I love that it's manufacturing too, because I feel like all the time people talk about personalizing it and using it for other things in like education and K through 12, and this is such a great example of any corporation might have other use cases they want to use the badge for other than opening a door.
Oh, absolutely. And they use it for now. They use it for time clock and all kinds of various applications. And then they also came back to us later down the road, probably about 6 weeks ago, and is asking. So they have different zones in their manufacturing process where they do not want every employee to go to each zone. They need the employees stay in certain zones, and if they cross that zone or into another building, they need to know that employee went in there and alerted. So we used some kind of RF technologies where it is pretty much tracking that employee where they didn't go outside their zones as well. And that led to various other applications as well.
Absolutely. That's cool. Let's go back to the clamshell card, because you must feel similarly to me in this. Nothing annoys me more than when I'm like at lunch or walk into a customer site or something and I see somebody with a badge on, like especially when they're wearing it, and it's a blank white clamshell card. It drives me nuts. But how you run into this all the time. You've got to run into it as often as us.
Oh yeah, we run into it probably weekly now. Hopefully, we're starting to get clamshell cards out of the market space. That way they can actually printing on these cards so you can actually see who's coming in the facilities. And that, and plus the apparatus that they use to wear the card, right? So lanyards or armbands or something like that. In a manufacturing facility, lanyards are somewhat dangerous. So we use a lot of armbands to secure those credentials to the employee as well.
No, that's a great point. I think that a lot of times people think you wear a badge and it's on a lanyard, and that's the end all be all. But you can come up with secure and safe ways depending on the facility, for people to still wear them and have that visual ID that says, like, I'm actually Lindsay. I didn't just find this card in the parking lot and use it to open the door and get in your manufacturing facility. And in that way, I think visual ID is very preventative. Like, you use it proactively to ensure somebody on the front end. And there's plenty of other security systems. Like, I know that manufacturing facility has great video surveillance too.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what they're coming back after the fact. I'd rather know I'm not Lindsay now than know someone was in here and have to go back and try to figure out who was in here that wasn't supposed to be here.
Absolutely.
So all goes back to layered approach to security, which I have talked about numerous times. I'm very passionate about. It's not one thing solves all your problems. Certainly not photo ID or door access. Like, they don't solve all your problems, but they're definitely a piece of the puzzle.
Correct. Yeah, and securing a perimeter. ID card starts it all, right? After the ID card, you start using that ID card, like I was speaking about, in all kinds of features as securing your outside perimeter, and then tracking throughout facilities and using it for all kinds of applications like time clocks or cafeteria vending machines, stuff like that.
You're so right. Such good examples. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your story with all of us. I really appreciate it, Travis.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. We hope you join us next time as we take you beyond the badge.